Jack, a young plumber, had married Victoria, a 75-year-old millionaire woman driven by the prospect of wealth. Just 3 days later, he was left stunned by what he discovered. The ornate gates of Victoria's mansion creaked open as Jack's van made its way up the long driveway. The estate was nothing short of breathtaking. The manicured gardens stretched as far as the eye could see, with the sweet scent of blooming roses hanging in the air. The mansion itself, a grand stone structure, boasted towering windows and intricate detailing that made it look like a scene straight out of a movie. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so I can continue bringing you more fascinating true stories like this one. And don't forget to watch this video till the end and like the video because this story is going to be incredibly interesting. Please hit the like button to show your support. Jack parked his van, stepping out with his toolbox in hand. His worn jeans and work boots felt completely out of place against the backdrop of such luxury. He took a deep breath to shake off the intimidation creeping in. This wasn't the first time he'd worked in an affluent neighborhood, but this particular house felt on a whole different level. As he rang the doorbell, the massive wooden door opened almost instantly. Standing before him was Victoria, a petite woman with striking silver hair neatly pinned up. She wore a sophisticated blouse and slacks, her posture upright and her gaze sharp. Despite her age, there was an undeniable, commanding presence about her, one that both intimidated and intrigued Jack. "You must be the plumber," Victoria said, her voice smooth and calm. "Yes, ma'am," Jack replied, offering a polite smile. "I'm Jack. I'm here to fix the leak in the upstairs bathroom." Victoria nodded and stepped aside, gesturing for him to enter. "Right this way." Jack followed her through the marble-floored foyer, his eyes drifting to the grand staircase, the glittering chandelier hanging above, and the artwork adorning the walls. Each piece seemed far more valuable than anything he had ever owned. "You have a beautiful home," he said, attempting to make small talk. "Thank you," Victoria responded, glancing back at him with a faint smile. "It's been my sanctuary for many years." They reached the bathroom, an expansive space with gleaming fixtures and a bathtub that could have easily doubled as a small pool. Jack set down his toolbox and began working, the sound of his tools echoing in the marble room. Victoria lingered nearby, watching him with a curious expression. "So, Jack," she began, her tone casual, "how long have you been a plumber?" "About 5 years," Jack replied, not looking up from his work. "It's honest work, but I'm hoping to move up someday, maybe start my own business." "Ambitious," Victoria said, crossing her arms. "Ambition is good, but it can also be dangerous if it blinds you to other things." Jack paused, glancing up at her. "I don't see how wanting to make a better life for myself is dangerous." Victoria tilted her head slightly, studying him. "You think money is the key to a better life, don't you?" Jack leaned back on his heels. "Look at this house, the life you have. If I had this kind of money, I wouldn't have to worry about anything." Victoria's smile grew, but her expression hinted at something deeper, perhaps amusement or even wisdom. "You think this house means I don't worry about anything?" Jack's tone turned defensive. "Doesn't it?" Victoria stepped closer, her gaze penetrating. "Money solves problems, Jack, but it doesn't fix people. It doesn't bring happiness or fulfillment, not the kind that lasts." Jack frowned, unsure of how to respond. "Maybe, but it sure makes life easier for a time." Victoria's voice softened. "But the things that truly matter, connection, purpose, love, money can't buy those. If you spend your life chasing wealth, you might find yourself more lost than you were when you started." Jack let out a short laugh and shook his head. "No offense, but that's easy for you to say. You've already made it. You don't know what it's like to scrape by." Victoria's expression remained unchanged, but her eyes seemed to gleam with understanding. "Don't I?" There was a moment of silence, heavy but not uncomfortable. Finally, Jack cleared his throat and returned his attention to the pipes. "Well, I'm not trying to be rude. I've just seen what life's like without money. It's not pretty." Victoria nodded slowly, her smile fading into something more contemplative. "You're not wrong, but you'll learn in time that wealth comes with its own set of challenges. It can isolate you, distort the way people see you and the way you see yourself." Jack didn't respond, unsure of how to take her words. He worked in silence, feeling Victoria's watchful gaze on him the entire time. When he finished, he stood, wiping his hands on a rag. "The leak's fixed," he said. "Good," Victoria replied, walking him to the door. "Thank you for your work, Jack." "You've given me a lot to think about." Jack raised an eyebrow, confused. "Used me?" Victoria smiled, her eyes twinkling. "Everyone has something to teach, whether they realize it or not." As Jack stepped outside, with the door closing behind him, he couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't the last time he'd see Victoria. There was something about her, something that made him question everything he thought he knew about life, wealth, and what truly mattered. Victoria smiled, her eyes twinkling with a knowing gleam. Everyone has something to teach, whether they realize it or not. As Jack stepped outside and the door closed behind him, an odd feeling lingered in his mind. He couldn't shake the sense that this wasn't the last time he'd encounter Victoria. Something about her made him question everything he thought he knew about life, wealth, and what truly mattered. A week after his initial visit to the Grand Mansion, Jack received an unexpected call from Victoria's assistant. The voice on the other end was calm and professional, asking if Jack could return to the estate for a meeting with Mrs. Victoria herself. Jack hesitated for a moment, unsure of why someone as wealthy and refined as Victoria would want to meet with a plumber. But curiosity, combined with the chance to step back into that luxurious world, pushed him to agree. "Sure," he said, trying to keep his tone casual. "I'll be there." When Jack arrived, the gates swung open as smoothly as before, and he felt that same sense of awe creeping in as he drove up the long driveway. Victoria greeted him at the door with the same poised demeanor she'd had during their last encounter. "Jack," she said warmly, gesturing for him to enter, "thank you for coming on such short notice." "Of course," Jack replied, his toolbox absent this time. "What can I help you with?" Victoria led him to the sitting room, a space filled with elegant furniture and framed photographs of what Jack assumed were family members. She motioned for him to sit before settling into a chair opposite him. "I'll get straight to the point," Victoria said, her voice steady and resolute. "I've been thinking a lot since we last spoke." Jack tilted his head, unsure of where this conversation might be headed. "About what?" "About you," Victoria said, her sharp gaze studying him, "and about an arrangement that might benefit both of us." "An arrangement?" Jack repeated, confusion evident in his voice. Victoria leaned back in her chair, her expression unreadable. "Jack, I've spent most of my life building wealth, connections, and a reputation, but none of that can change the fact that I'm alone. My late husband passed away years ago, and although I have acquaintances, there's no one I truly trust." Jack nodded slowly, unsure how to respond. "I'm not looking for love or romance," Victoria continued. "What I need is a companion, someone who can be by my side, help me navigate the complexities of my life, and ensure that I'm not taken advantage of in my later years." Jack's brow furrowed. "I'm not sure I'm following." Victoria smiled faintly. "Let me be blunt. I want you to marry me." The words hung in the air like a sudden thunderclap. Jack blinked, unsure if he had heard her correctly. "Excuse me?" "I want you to marry me," Victoria repeated, her tone steady. "Not for love, but for practicality. In return, I'll ensure your future is secure financially. You'll never have to worry again." Jack stared at her, his mind racing. "You're serious?" "Quite serious," Victoria said, her expression unwavering. "Why me?" Jack asked, still struggling to process what she was saying. "You could find someone more suitable." Victoria chuckled lightly. "Because you're honest. perhaps too honest. You're not polished or pretentious, and I believe that makes you trustworthy. Besides, I see potential in you, Jack. You have ambition, but you lack direction. I can help with that." Jack leaned back in his chair, running a hand through his hair. "This is a lot to take in." "I imagine it is," Victoria said softly. "Take the night to think about it. Come back tomorrow with your answer." That night, Jack lay awake in his small, cramped apartment, staring at the ceiling. Victoria's proposal echoed in his mind. On one hand, it seemed absurd. Marry a woman 50 years older than him. But on the other hand, it was an opportunity like no other. He thought about his current life. Endless days of grueling work, struggling to make rent, and dreaming of a better future. Victoria's wealth could change everything. Jack sat up, rubbing his face. "It's not like she's asking for love," he muttered to himself. "It's a business deal." The decision weighed heavily on him, but as the night went on, his ambition won out. The next morning, Jack returned to Victoria's mansion. She was waiting for him in the same sitting room, her expression calm but expectant. "Well?" she asked as he sat down. Jack took a deep breath, meeting her gaze. "I'll do it." Victoria's lips curved into a small smile. "You've made a wise choice, Jack. I think this will work out well for both of us." Though Jack returned Victoria's smile, he couldn't shake the nagging voice in the back of his mind. His decision to marry her had nothing to do with her, but rather with the promise of wealth and security. As he left the mansion that day, the magnitude of what he had agreed to began to settle in. While Victoria seemed calm and confident, Jack found himself wondering what he was truly getting into. The day of the wedding arrived quietly, without the fanfare Jack had feared. Victoria had insisted on keeping the ceremony intimate and understated, which Jack found a relief. It was a simple gathering in the grand living room of her mansion, attended by only a few of her closest acquaintances and Jack's bewildered friends. Jack stood at the front of the room, nervously adjusting the collar of his suit. It felt surreal. Just days ago, he'd been fixing pipes in this very house, and now he was marrying its owner. Victoria entered the room with quiet elegance, her silver hair styled with care and a tailored dress that radiated class. She didn't look like a blushing bride, but she exuded the poise of someone who knew exactly what she wanted and wasn't afraid to take it. As the officiant began the ceremony, Jack couldn't shake the blend of unease and anticipation swirling in his chest. When they exchanged vows, Victoria's words were clear and direct, devoid of any sentimental embellishment but filled with undeniable sincerity. "I promise to be your partner on this journey, to respect the terms of our agreement, and to ensure that we both benefit from this union," Victoria declared. Jack hesitated before repeating his vows, his mind fixated on the practicality of it all. But as he slipped the ring onto Victoria's finger and she did the same for him, the weight of the moment sank in. This wasn't just a deal, it was the beginning of something Jack couldn't yet define. After the ceremony, Victoria hosted a modest reception in the mansion's dining hall. The atmosphere was calm, filled with polite conversations, and the sound of glasses clinking in celebration. Jack's friends, though dressed in their best clothes, still seemed out of place among the wealthier guests. "Man, you really did it," one of Jack's friends whispered, nudging him. "I mean, look at this place. You're set for life." Jack forced a smile, the words leaving an odd taste in his mouth. That evening, Jack moved into the mansion, bringing only a few bags of clothes and personal items. Victoria had already prepared a room for him, separate from her own. "This will be your space," she explained, showing him a large, well-furnished guest room. "You're free to make yourself at home, but I expect you to respect my routines and preferences." "Of course," Jack replied, feeling a flicker of unease. In the following days, Jack began settling into his new life, though it was far from what he had imagined. The mansion was eerily quiet, and Victoria mostly kept to herself. But gradually, their paths crossed more frequently. Victoria would invite him to join her for breakfast in the sunlit dining room, where they exchanged polite conversation over coffee and toast. In the evenings, they would occasionally sit in the library. Victoria would read, while Jack aimlessly scrolled through his phone. At first, Jack found her distant demeanor intimidating, but he soon realized there was more to her than he had initially thought. Victoria had a sharp wit and a dry sense of humor that caught him off guard. She spoke with the confidence of someone who had seen the world and weathered storms, and her stories often captivated him. One evening, after dinner, Jack found Victoria in the sitting room, staring at an old photograph on the mantel. "Is that your husband?" he asked, gesturing toward the picture. Victoria nodded, her expression softening. "Yes, Charles. He was a good man, though we had our differences." "What happened to him?" Jack asked carefully. "He passed away nearly 10 years ago," Victoria replied, her voice steady. "It was sudden, a heart attack." "I'm sorry," Jack said, not knowing what else to add. Victoria turned to face him, offering a faint smile. "Don't be. Life moves on, and so must we." She gestured for him to sit, and for the first time, Jack saw a side of her that was vulnerable, yet strong. "Jack," she began, "I wasn't always wealthy, you know. I grew up in a small town in a family that barely scraped by. My father was a factory worker, and my mother cleaned houses. I worked 3 jobs to put myself through college." Jack blinked, surprised. "You never mentioned that before." Victoria chuckled softly. "Most people don't ask. They see the house, the money, and assume it was always this way." She leaned back in her chair, her gaze distant. "Charles and I built our fortune from the ground up. He had the vision and I had the grit to make it happen. But it wasn't easy. We lost everything more than once before we finally succeeded." Jack sat quietly, his mind racing after hearing Victoria's story. He had assumed her wealth came from privilege, inherited without any effort on her part. But hearing her recount the struggles she had faced, Jack felt a pang of guilt for the way he had judged her, and more painfully, for the reason he had entered this marriage. "Why are you telling me this?" Jack asked quietly, his voice thick with uncertainty. Victoria met his gaze, her eyes steady and piercing. "Because I want you to understand that wealth means nothing if you lose yourself along the way. I've watched too many people chase money and end up with nothing real to show for it." Jack looked away, her words striking deeper than he had anticipated. He had married her for the promise of wealth. There was no denying that. But now, sitting across from her, hearing the depths of her journey, a twinge of guilt gnawed at him. There was something else, too, something he couldn't quite place, but it left him feeling unsettled. Victoria placed a hand on his arm, gentle but firm. "Jack, life has a way of teaching us what truly matters. I hope for your sake you learn that lesson before it's too late." As she stood and left the room, Jack remained, her words echoing in his mind. For the first time since agreeing to the marriage, he questioned not just his motives, but who he was becoming. 3 days after their quiet, understated wedding, Jack found himself adjusting to life in the mansion. Despite the luxury surrounding him, a persistent unease lingered. The practical nature of their arrangement gnawed at him, yet he tried to reassure himself that it would all pay off in the future, Victoria had promised. It was late in the afternoon when curiosity led him into Victoria's study, a room she had specifically told him was off limits unless invited. But she wasn't home. She'd gone to a charity board meeting, and Jack, unable to resist, ventured inside. The study was as grand as the rest of the mansion, with towering bookshelves, a mahogany desk, and sunlight streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows. His eyes skimmed the room, eventually landing on a stack of papers neatly arranged on the desk. Hesitating for a moment, he glanced toward the door before stepping closer. At the top of the stack was a legal document with bold letters that caught his eye. Last Will and Testament of Victoria Kingsley. Jack's heart skipped a beat. Though he knew he shouldn't, his hands moved before his mind could catch up. Flipping through the pages, each line hit him like a punch to the gut. Victoria had planned to donate her entire estate to charity upon her death. Every penny, every asset, even the mansion itself. Not a single word about Jack, not even a mention. His breath quickened. He stepped back, the papers slipping from his hands. The room seemed to close in around him as disbelief set in. "She lied to me," Jack muttered under his breath. Stumbling out of the study, Jack felt the weight of the discovery pressing down on him. He paced the hallway, his thoughts in turmoil, anger and betrayal swirling together. He had entered this marriage believing he would secure his future, escape his old life. But now it seemed that Victoria had outsmarted him. That evening, when Victoria returned, everything seemed unchanged. She greeted Jack with her usual composed demeanor, asking about his day, as though nothing was different. But Jack couldn't look at her. His appetite was gone, replaced with a heavy knot in his stomach. "Is everything all right?" Victoria asked, her sharp eyes studying him closely. Jack forced a smile, though it didn't reach his eyes. "Yeah, just tired." Victoria nodded slowly, not pressing further, but Jack could feel her watchful gaze on him. She knew something was wrong. In the days that followed, Jack's behavior shifted. He became distant, avoiding conversations with Victoria, finding excuses to leave the house. Victoria, ever observant, noticed the change, though Jack didn't try to hide it. One afternoon, as they sat in the sunroom, Victoria set down her teacup and folded her hands in her lap. "Jack," she said, her voice calm but firm, "is there something you'd like to talk about?" Jack stiffened, keeping his gaze fixed on the floor. "No, everything's fine." "Are you sure?" she pressed gently. "You've seemed preoccupied lately." "I'm fine," Jack replied quickly, standing and moving toward the door. "I just need some air." Victoria watched him leave, her expression unreadable. Jack's steps were heavy as he walked away from her, his mind racing. That evening, Jack sat alone in his room, replaying the moment he had discovered the will over and over again. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. "She used me," he muttered to himself, his fists clenching. "She knew I'd agree to this marriage because of the money, and she didn't say a word about her plans." The realization stung deeper with each passing minute. Beneath the anger, Jack couldn't ignore the growing feeling of shame. Victoria had been nothing but forthright about her intentions for their marriage. She had never promised him love or wealth, only companionship. It was Jack who had assumed that the financial security would come with the union. That realization left him feeling hollow, but his pride kept him from confronting her. Meanwhile, Victoria observed Jack's shift in behavior with quiet patience. She knew something was troubling him, but chose not to address it directly. Instead, she continued on with her usual demeanor, allowing him the space to process whatever was weighing on him. Late one night, she sat in the study, gazing at the same stack of papers Jack had discovered. She had known it was only a matter of time before he found the will. It was the reason she had left it out in the open. A faint smile played on her lips as she sighed softly. "Let's see what you're really made of, Jack," she murmured to herself. As the days passed, the tension between them thickened. Jack felt trapped, unsure of how to move forward. He tried to avoid Victoria as much as possible, but her calm presence only seemed to heighten his frustration. One evening, as he sat alone in the back patio, gazing out over the garden, the weight of her words from their earlier conversations echoed in his mind. Life has a way of teaching us what truly matters. Jack frowned, his anger beginning to shift into doubt. What if Victoria's decision to donate her fortune wasn't a trick, but a lesson? What if she was testing him, waiting to see if he could rise above his own greed? The thought left him conflicted, unsure of what to do next. For the first time in his life, Jack began questioning not only his motives, but the kind of person he truly wanted to be. The growing tension between Jack and Victoria made the mansion feel heavy, the once comfortable rhythm now replaced with a quiet unease. Jack found himself retreating to his room or wandering through the vast garden to clear his mind. No matter how far he walked, his thoughts always circled back to Victoria, her calm presence, her sharp wit, and her quiet strength. These were qualities he couldn't ignore, and slowly they began to overshadow his original motives for marriage. One evening, Victoria called him to dinner in the formal dining room, a rare occasion. Jack immediately sensed that this was no ordinary meal. When he arrived, the table was set with fine china, and candles flickered softly in the dim light. Victoria sat at the head of the table, her posture as poised as ever, and motioned for him to sit across from her, a faint smile curling on her lips. "Jack," she began, her voice calm as they started eating, "you've been unusually quiet these past few days. Is there something on your mind?" Jack hesitated, his fork pausing in midair. "No, I've just been thinking. That's all." Victoria's gaze sharpened. "Thinking about what?" He set his fork down, avoiding her gaze. "About us. About this whole arrangement." Victoria leaned back in her chair, folding her hands in her lap. "Do you regret marrying me?" The question cut through the air, shattering the calm between them. Jack's chest tightened, the weight of his emotions threatening to overwhelm him. "I don't know," he admitted quietly, his voice soft. "I thought it would be different." "Different how?" Victoria pressed gently, her tone steady yet insistent. Jack ran a hand through his hair, sighing. "I thought I'd have it all figured out by now. The money, the security. I thought it would make everything better, but it hasn't." Victoria tilted her head, her expression unreadable. "And why do you think that is?" Jack hesitated, struggling to put his feelings into words. "Because I didn't really understand what I was getting into. I didn't understand you." Victoria raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Go on." Jack's heart pounded as he spoke the truth he had been avoiding. "When I married you, it was all about the money. That's what mattered to me. I thought if I could secure my future, nothing else would matter. But then I got to know you, really know you, and now I feel ashamed." Victoria's gaze softened, though her expression remained composed. "Ashamed of what?" she asked. Jack's voice trembled as he spoke. "Ashamed of how I judged you," he confessed. "I assumed you were just some wealthy woman looking for a companion to pass the time, but you're so much more than that. You're smart, you're kind, and you've lived a life I can't even begin to imagine." For the first time, Victoria's composure wavered. She studied Jack closely, her eyes searching for any sign of insincerity. "Do you mean that?" she asked quietly. Jack nodded, his throat tight. "Yes, I do." A faint smile tugged at Victoria's lips as she set her fork down. "Thank you, Jack. It means more to me than you know." Jack's brow furrowed as he looked at her. "Why did you choose me, Victoria? Out of all the people you could have married, why me?" Victoria leaned forward slightly, her elbows resting on the table as she spoke. "Because you reminded me of myself, ambitious, restless, and hungry for something more. But unlike many others in your position, I see potential in you. You just don't know how to harness it yet." Jack stared at her, taking in her words. "And you thought marrying me would help me figure it out?" Victoria chuckled softly. "Perhaps, or perhaps I simply saw an opportunity to teach you something about life. Either way, I think we've both learned more than we expected from each other." Jack couldn't help but smile, his admiration for her growing with every word. "You're incredible. You know that." Victoria laughed, a warm and genuine sound that filled the room. "I've been called many things, Jack, but incredible isn't usually one of them." As the evening wore on, their conversation shifted to lighter topics: Victoria's travels, Jack's dreams, and the quirks of living in such a grand house. For the first time since their wedding, the tension between them seemed to melt away, replaced by a newfound sense of connection. When the meal ended, Jack stood, hesitating for a moment before speaking. "Victoria," he said, his voice uncertain. "I don't know what the future holds for us, but I want to do better. I want to be better. For you and for myself." Victoria rose from her seat, her gaze steady and filled with kindness. "That's all I've ever wanted for you, Jack. And for what it's worth, I think you're already on the right path." As they parted ways for the night, Jack felt a flicker of something he hadn't expected: hope. For the first time, he realized that this marriage, unconventional as it was, might just be the turning point he had been searching for all along. The next morning, Jack woke with a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in years. Victoria's words from the previous evening still lingered in his mind, stirring something deep within him. For too long, he had been chasing an illusion of success, but now he saw an opportunity to redefine what that truly meant. As he stepped into the sunlit dining room, he saw Victoria already seated, her tea steaming in a delicate porcelain cup. She looked up from the morning paper, and her sharp eyes softened when she saw him. "Good morning," she greeted him. "Morning," Jack replied, sitting across from her. He hesitated for a moment before speaking. "I was wondering if I could join you today on one of your charity visits." Victoria's eyebrows lifted slightly, though she gave no indication of surprise. "Are you sure? It's not exactly glamorous work." Jack nodded. "I'm sure. I want to see what you do and why you do it." Victoria regarded him thoughtfully for a moment, then nodded. "Very well. We'll leave after breakfast." By mid-morning, they arrived at a community center Victoria had helped fund years ago. The building was modest yet well-maintained, bustling with volunteers and families seeking assistance. Victoria introduced Jack to the staff, who greeted her with warmth and respect. It was clear that she wasn't just a benefactor, she was an integral part of their mission. "Come," Victoria said, handing Jack a pair of gloves. "Let's see if you're as good with a paintbrush as you are with a wrench." Jack spent the next few hours helping repaint one of the classrooms, his shirt speckled with white paint. As they worked, Victoria moved through the center with ease, chatting with volunteers and offering quiet encouragement to those in need. For the first time, Jack saw her not just as a wealthy widow, but as a force of nature, a woman who used her resources to create real, meaningful change. Over the next few weeks, Jack found himself joining Victoria on more of her charitable visits. He helped serve meals at a local shelter, repaired furniture for a struggling family, and even spoke to a group of teenagers about finding their purpose in life. Though the work was physically demanding, it was fulfilling in ways Jack had never experienced before. For the first time, he felt connected to something larger than himself. Back at the mansion, Jack began to notice little things around the house that needed attention: squeaky hinges, leaky faucets, and stuck drawers. Instead of calling a contractor, he decided to take matters into his own hands. One afternoon, Victoria entered the kitchen to find Jack crouched beneath the sink with his toolbox beside him. "What are you doing?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "Fixing the leak," Jack said, grinning as he wiped his hands on a rag. "It's what I do, remember?" Victoria chuckled. "I could have called someone to handle that and paid them a small fortune." "No need," Jack replied, shaking his head. "I enjoy fixing things. It's satisfying." A rare warmth softened Victoria's expression as she smiled. "Very well. Carry on." As Jack worked around the house, the space, once cold and impersonal, began to come alive again. His presence brought a new energy to the mansion. He would hum as he worked, crack jokes with the staff, and sometimes convince Victoria to join him in the kitchen for simple but delicious baking sessions. One evening, as they sat together in the library, Victoria looked up from her book to see Jack tinkering with the fireplace. "Jack," she said softly, her voice firm but gentle. He turned, his hands smeared with soot. "I've noticed a change in you," she said, setting her book down. Jack hesitated, unsure how to respond. "In a good way or a bad way?" he asked, unsure of what she meant. Victoria smiled faintly. "In a good way. You seem more at peace." Jack leaned against the mantel, nodding slowly. "I think I am. For the first time, I feel like I'm doing something real, something that truly matters." Victoria's eyes softened, though she said nothing more. She simply picked up her book again and resumed reading, a small, content smile playing on her lips. As the weeks passed, Jack's transformation became undeniable. He was no longer the man who had entered the marriage solely for money. He had found meaning in the most unexpected places. Victoria, ever observant, quietly witnessed his journey. Though she never voiced it, she was proud of his growth. Jack was becoming the person she had always believed he could be, a man who could change not just his own life, but the lives of others as well. The grandeur of Victoria's mansion buzzed with activity as the night of the charity gala arrived. The chandeliers sparkled overhead, casting a warm glow on the elegantly dressed guests who mingled and sipped champagne. The event, a gathering of the city's most influential philanthropists, community leaders, and benefactors, had been meticulously planned by Victoria. Jack, having helped organize the event, hadn't expected her to ask him to play such a significant role. "Jack." Victoria's calm voice broke through his thoughts. She approached him gracefully, her silver gown shimmering softly in the light. "Are you ready?" she asked, her eyes meeting his. Jack swallowed, his palms growing damp. "Not really. I'm not exactly a public speaker." Victoria placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You'll do fine. Just speak from the heart. That's all anyone will want to hear." Jack nodded, though the knot in his stomach remained. As the guests took their seats, Victoria stepped onto the small stage at the front of the room. With her characteristic poise, she welcomed everyone and wove a narrative of gratitude and hope for the future. "And now," she said, her gaze sweeping across the room, "I'd like to introduce someone who has become an integral part of my life and the work we do here. Jack, would you join me?" Jack stood, feeling the weight of every eye in the room on him as he made his way to the stage. Victoria stepped aside, giving him the floor. He cleared his throat, gripping the edges of the podium. "Good evening, everyone," he began, his voice shaky but steadying with each word. "When Victoria asked me to speak tonight, my first thought was, why me? I'm not a businessman or a philanthropist. I'm just a plumber who got lucky." A light ripple of laughter spread through the room, easing the tension. Jack took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts and his courage. "When I first met Victoria, I was lost," he continued. "I thought money was the solution to everything. I thought that if I could just escape the life I had, everything would finally fall into place. So when Victoria proposed our arrangement, I didn't truly understand it. I just saw an opportunity to get ahead." The room fell silent, the weight of his words lingering in the air. "But I was wrong," Jack said, his voice thick with emotion. "What Victoria gave me wasn't just a way out. She gave me a way forward. She taught me the importance of caring for something bigger than yourself and using what you have to make a positive impact on others." Jack paused, his eyes sweeping the room before he spoke again. "I'm not proud of the reasons I said yes to this marriage, but I'm proud of what it's become, and I'm proud to stand here tonight, knowing that Victoria has shown me not only the value of giving, but also the power of living with purpose." A wave of applause erupted as Jack stepped back from the podium, his chest rising and falling with a mix of relief and emotion. He turned to Victoria, who smiled at him, her eyes gleaming with pride. The remainder of the evening passed in a blur of handshakes and conversations. Guests approached Jack, offering words of encouragement and expressing curiosity about his story. For the first time, he felt truly connected, not because of wealth or status, but because he had found a sense of purpose. Later that night, after the last of the guests had left, Jack found Victoria sitting alone in the library, a glass of wine in her hand. She looked up when he entered and motioned for him to join her. "You did well tonight," she said warmly. "Thanks," Jack replied, sitting across from her. "But I have a feeling you planned all of this, didn't you?" Victoria's smile deepened. "Perhaps," but I wanted you to see for yourself what you're truly capable of." She reached into a drawer, pulled out an envelope, and slid it across the table to him. "What's this?" he asked, picking it up. "Open it," Victoria said simply. Jack unfolded the letter and scanned the words. His breath caught in his chest as he read. Victoria had written that she was transferring a portion of her estate to him, not as inheritance, but as a trust for the charitable work they had been doing together. "I'm entrusting you with this," Victoria said steadily, her gaze unwavering. "Because I believe in you, Jack. I believe you have the heart and the determination to continue what we've started. But there's one condition: you must promise to use it for good." Jack's hands trembled as he set the letter down, his eyes brimming with tears. "Why are you doing this for me?" "Because I've watched you grow," Victoria replied, her voice steady. "You've become someone who understands the true value of giving, someone who can inspire others to do the same. That's worth more to me than any amount of money." Jack lowered his head, wiping his eyes with his sleeve. "I don't know if I deserve this." Victoria reached across the table, her hand gently covering his. "You do, and I have no doubt that you'll prove it to yourself in time." That night, as Jack sat alone in his room, the letter still in his hands, he felt a powerful mix of gratitude and resolve. Victoria's belief in him had given him a second chance, not just to redeem himself, but to build a life that truly mattered. For the first time, Jack allowed himself to believe that he was capable of so much more than he had ever imagined. He silently promised to honor Victoria's trust, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The years following Victoria's gala marked a profound transformation, not only in Jack's life, but in the lives of countless others. With her guidance and eventual passing, Jack fully embraced his role as the head of the charitable foundation she had established. The Victoria Kingsley Foundation became a beacon of hope for those in need, funding a wide range of projects, from community centers and shelters to education programs and disaster relief efforts. Once a struggling plumber searching for a way out, Jack now found himself fully immersed in the world of philanthropy. On a bright, sunny afternoon, he walked through the bustling headquarters of the foundation. The building, once empty and silent, now hummed with energy. Volunteers and staff moved with purpose, their commitment evident in their every action. Jack greeted each of them as he passed, exchanging smiles and brief words. In his office, a large portrait of Victoria hung proudly on the wall. Her calm and serene expression was a constant reminder of the woman who had changed his life. During moments of doubt, Jack often found himself staring at her image. It grounded him, reminding him of the purpose they had created together. That evening, after the final meeting of the day, Jack lingered in the office. The soft glow of the desk lamp illuminated the scattered papers, project reports, letters from beneficiaries, all reflecting the impact the foundation had made. He leaned back in his chair, his gaze returning to Victoria's portrait. "You'd laugh if you saw me now," he said softly, a rueful smile crossing his lips. A guy who didn't even know what philanthropy meant, running one of the largest charities in the city. His smile faded, replaced by a deep sense of gratitude. "But you knew, didn't you? You saw something in me that I couldn't even see in myself." Jack stood up, walking over to the portrait. He placed his hand on the frame, his voice filled with emotion. "Thank you, Victoria, for everything. For not giving up on me when I didn't deserve it. For showing me that life isn't about what we take, but what we give." The following morning, Jack attended the grand opening of a new community center, funded by the foundation. The building, dedicated to Victoria's memory, was alive with children playing, parents chatting, and staff preparing for the day's programs. As Jack cut the ribbon, applause filled the air, and he couldn't help but feel a surge of pride, not for himself, but for the legacy he was helping to carry forward. A child approached him, holding a crayon drawing of the center with the words, "Thank you," written at the top. "For me?" Jack asked, kneeling down to the child's level. The boy nodded shyly. "Thank you for building this place, the child said. Jack's throat tightened as he took the drawing. "No, thank you," he replied. "You're the reason we do this." That evening, back in his office, Jack placed the crayon drawing next to Victoria's portrait. The room was quiet, the world outside slowing down, but inside, Jack felt a profound sense of fulfillment. He sat down, folding his hands, and gazed at the portrait. "You taught me that wealth is just a tool," he whispered softly. "It's how we use it that defines us. And because of you, I finally understand what it means to live a life that truly matters." As the city lights twinkled outside the window, Jack leaned back in his chair. The weight of his journey settled comfortably on his shoulders. Victoria had given him more than just a second chance. She had given him a purpose. Now, with every project, every life touched, and every act of kindness, Jack carried her legacy forward. He ensured that her vision of compassion and generosity would endure for generations to come. The crayon drawing and Victoria's portrait stood side by side, symbols of the past, present, and future, a reminder that even the most unlikely beginnings can lead to a life of profound meaning. As Jack stood before Victoria's portrait, a man transformed by love, wisdom, and purpose, he reminded us all that life's greatest gifts often come from the most unexpected places. Victoria's faith in him had not only changed his life, but also inspired a legacy of kindness that would impact generations to come. This story teaches us the power of second chances, the importance of giving back, and how true wealth is measured by the lives we touch. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and share it with someone who might need a little inspiration today. And for more soul-stirring stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to Soul Stirring Stories. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with another story that reminds us of the beauty of